Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Sierra and I garden in Ohio Zone 6A. I want to show you guys what's going on in my greenhouse today. There's so much growth on the plants that I brought outside. I haven't quite put everything in here that I wanted to, but what's in here is already showing so much growth. So it's July, it's the first week of July right now. These plants have been out here since probably end of May, so roughly about a month, give or take, because some things came out at different times. But I want to show you what's going on, and then we might even start some seeds too if I get some time. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll just start right at the front of the greenhouse. Here's the front. Don't mind, I got another tripod right here and it's so annoying. It's always in the way. Anyways, so we've got some squash plants here. The tags are non-existent, so I don't remember which is which, but I'm going to plant these out in my beds very soon. I started more basil. I've got marigolds started. This is a sugar baby that I got from a greenhouse. I planted two that were doing good. This one was very, very small, only had 2 leaves. So I just brought it in the greenhouse until it got a little bit bigger. We've got some kale that's stunted back here, and I think it's because of the heat. These are columbine, leprechaun gold columbine, and I started these early spring. And I've got celery here. And I can't remember what's in this back one right here, but there's only one little seed that has popped up. Down here are my begonias from seed. I need to get these planted so badly. I just keep forgetting to do it. I am so excited about these 2 plants down here. So this is a Hoya obovata, and it's variegated. And this plant was in my home and it struggled so badly. I was constantly losing leaves, losing stem. And so as a last ditch effort to bring it back to life or save it, I brought it out here to the greenhouse probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it has started to put out new growth. So we've got a whole new stem with leaves. And then this is a new leaf here. This is a new leaf here. It did lose this piece here, but it started growing all back here. So I'm so happy about this. This was a wish list plant that I wanted, and I was sad to see that it was struggling, but now it seems to be doing better, and I'm really excited about that. So the next plant is this variegated orchid, and it was struggling out here at first, but now it's putting out a new leaf. It's got new roots coming out, and see the tips here of these roots putting out new growth tips. And this has been out of its pot probably for about, I would say, 2 weeks now. I took it out of its pot because I was going to repot it, and then the pot that I was going to use was too small. So I was like, you know what, orchids freaking live on trees and other structures. He can live without soil for a while, without a substrate, because you don't plant orchids in soil. They go on in orchid bark or just bark in general. And so he's doing so good without any soil medium. Now let's move over here. I've got an orchid blooming over here. Now this all started since being in the greenhouse. It already had a flower stalk with like buds on it, like not even this buds like this tiny, like it had like nubs, like barely anything. And then all this has grown since being in the greenhouse. I've got some other orchids down here that got repots. I've got this is not the scientific name, but a Malaysian orchid. I think it's like Medalina something, and it's such a gorgeous plant that has beautiful blooms. But let me tell you, when I first bought this plant last fall, the stems were naked, nothing on the stems. And then I put it out here in the greenhouse because this plant actually loves humidity, So I put it out here a few weeks ago, growth on all the stems. I was actually going to cut the stems and propagate it, but now I don't really need to because it's leafed out. So it's doing really, really good. I'm actually so proud of this plant. And it's got new growth at the top. I don't know if we'll get any blooms, but I would be so happy to see this plant bloom for me out here. Behind it is a begonia. This begonia has put on 2 leaves since coming outside, and it looks amazing. It's a polka dot begonia, some kind of variety of polka dot begonia. Over here we have another orchid. It's doing pretty good. I actually see a little growth nub right here, but it's making a new branch. So let's come up here and see how that's kind of branching off there. So doing really, really well. I've got an orchid down here that got a repot, and it's starting to put out a new leaf. Looking good. Let's turn it around in case there's something on this side I haven't seen. Okay, yep, so just a new leaf on that one, and it's doing really good. Now let's go up here. This is my rabbit's foot fern, and it loves it out here. It's a little crispy because I let it get dry on accident, but it's bouncing back. It's doing really well. As long as the tray has water in it, the plant is happy, indoors or outdoors. So let's go up here. This is an update on my caladiums. This is week 2 of planting these, and we've got so much more growth. I just published a video updating you guys on some of the growth nubs, and there are so many more. Sorry, I had the camera hanging down for a sec. This one has got a leaf about to unfurl, and more nubs. Let me see. Okay, there's some still dormant, but they look so good. So let me show you this tray right here. We've got Bold and Beautiful has fully opened up its first leaf. Beautiful. So this is the first one out of all of the caladiums that I planted to actually fully unfurl a leaf. So it's looking really good. Over here, this is getting ready to do something. So we've got lots of nubs in this pot that are sticking up. Here. Here. This one has got a tiny little nub here and here. And then down on the ground, here is a pot. This leaf will be open by tomorrow, I'm sure. This one is Bottle Rocket. This leaf here is almost open. And then we've got these 3 nubs down here. Here's another pot. This literally next week, all of these will have leaves on them. They're going to be looking so good. Looking great over here. They're doing so well. After 2 weeks of being planted, like it is incredible to me. So let's spin around here. We've got this is Clarinervium. Let me see. I believe so. Yes, Anthurium, Clarinervium. And since repotting this plant, I put it in one of my thrifted containers, and then I brought it out, and it's starting to flower, which is not abnormal. They flower indoors as well for me. But I think this other Anthurium right here is getting ready to flower too. Maybe. This might be a leaf. See that right there? It's so hard to get there. Okay, so if this one is a flower, which I think it actually might be a leaf just looking at the stem, but this one flowers for me indoors. If this was a flower and that flower, like literally the insects would cross-pollinate these, and I would have some hybrid babies, and I would absolutely love to get seeds from these 2 plants. Like that would be a dream. So hopefully one of these both will bloom. I have a couple more Anthuriums, and I think I will bring them outside into the greenhouse and see if we can't get some cross-pollination going. I would love, 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 love to start Anthurium from seed. I think it would be such a cool thing to do. I've seen people do it on YouTube all the time and all over social media. I want to do it for myself. I think it'll be really cool. Okay, so we got Pink Princess. She's starting to put out bigger leaves like I thought she would, moving her out here. She's doing really good. I do need to get her into a bigger pot because that will help her expand and then get her a nice stake so she can continue having a nice sturdy stem to hold up her leaves. Coluses that I propagated and need to plant and have not done it. There's just so many things to do. I often forget. Here's my variegated Monstera. You know what's crazy to me is that businesses are still selling Monsteras for like $50+ like this. You can get a huge variegated Monstera at Walmart, and I'm not saying huge like it's in a big like 4 or 5 gallon pot, but like even in the what is it, a quart or like a quart pot, like you can get a huge plant in a small pot from your Walmarts, Kroger, freaking Lowe's, and then for like $30. So I don't understand why the greenhouses are still selling them for so much money when you can find them so many other places for dirt cheap. People are getting them on freaking clearance racks. So if you're looking for a variegated Monstera, check the big box stores first and see if you can't find one that way. That's how I find a lot of my plants that I love. That's how I got this Monstera for $29.99, and then I actually have two. One is it a cutting? One is a cutting from another plant that I gave away, and then this other one here that I just showed you is from a plant that I actually bought. So Monstera propagates so easy, and you can find them so cheap right now. At least the ones that I have. There are some very expensive Monsteras out there, so just eventually everything makes it to Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, those kind of places eventually, which is kind of one thing that I love about, plants is that yes, some of them start off super expensive and rare, but they eventually make it to make it to like what I want to say, the masses. It eventually makes it to everybody else, and that's perfectly fine with me. So yeah, if you can find it cheaper, do that. That's how I shop. Next plant is this Caladium over here. Now this one I bought a couple pots on clearance from Lowe's, and then all the foliage died off, so I was like, okay, well, I'll save the tubers and see if I can restart them. And here they go. It actually took probably about 2 months for them to get like this. So it was like just dirt for a long time, and then now they're up and they look great. I've got a staghorn fern here. I really need to do something with this. It's so dry, but it is putting out a new little frond here, but I need to make sure I'm keeping it nice and moist and doing what I can. It's been on this board for a few years now, and it might just need a new setup and situation. I've got this begonia here that is doing so good. It was struggling in the house, and now it's just leaf after leaf after leaf. It's standing upright. Before, all of these were hanging down. Now they're reaching up to the light like they should. Here is a, oh my gosh, I was going to say a fiddle leaf fig, but it's just a fig tree cutting that I had taken back in May. And then it had like no leaves on it. So since May, it has rooted. It was like from here, and then it's grown all of this, and then these leaves down here, and it's doing so good. It's got one of those little fuzzy white bugs on it. I don't know if you can see that. They're harmless that I know of. So I'll leave it be. But yeah, this plant is doing so good. Look, it's already growing out of this pot. I'm gonna have to pot it up again very soon. Okay, so I thought I had time to pot up some seedlings, so we'll do that on another video. I actually have to take my dog to the vet, two dogs to the vet. One has to get his rabies shot update, And then my other one, my puppy, has to get her second round of puppy shots. So I have to get going. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions about anything in this greenhouse. I got the greenhouse from Temu, but they no longer have it on Temu. The brand is Out Sunny, Outsunny, and I'll link one as close as possible to the size that I have because I really love the size of this greenhouse. It is so much nicer than the other smaller ones because I can be in here, I can work in here, and I can keep a lot of stuff in here, which is super exciting to me. But anyways, I'll link things that are either exact or as close as the stuff that I use in my videos. But anyways, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next video. Bye!